Hello and welcome to Charter Local Edition. Today we're broadcasting in Carson City, Nevada, covering the state legislative actions. And my guest is Senator Joe.Hardy. Senator, thank you so much for being here with us.
Dana, good to be here.
You are my only guest today so far who has brought props.
Well, thank you.
So props to you.
I do props, yes.
So what we have here is a beautiful soapbox.
Yeah.
Are you going to get on your soapbox for
I
me
will.
today?
And if I could, if you look at this one, if you hold that right there.
I will.
And then I'll hold a soapbox that I literally have in the bathroom of the home that I live in here in Carson City. So a real soapbox.
Oh, very nice.
And so what I did is I took a picture so you can see it easier of the soapbox. And I'm a politician.
Do you practice on it in the bathroom?
That's what I do. So
oh, I love it.
I don't do it in the bathroom. I'm not going to go there anyway. So at any rate, so I saw this box. It's wood. It's very heavy. And it's got, all the things to make it solid. And so I thought, that's where it is. That's what we used to do. So you take that soapbox, and now, today, we have a microphone. These little microphones that we wear.
Yes.
Now we have microphones where, politically speaking, they give us microphones. What can we do except to use them, right? And when you consider the soapbox mentality has now become
the cell phone.
Blogs, cell phones, Instagram. We can say whatever we want. The concept of soapboxing, as they used to call it, was you stand up in the public square and you talk about things that are important to you, but may not be important to everybody else, nor may everybody else agree with you. But that's why you had to be very agile when you're on the soapbox to dodge the tomatoes, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So you have now different ways of communicating. But it still comes down to communicating. How do you communicate with your constituents? How do you communicate with the world? And now we have the internet, and we have all of these different media methods that we can talk to people. And it's a different world because now everybody knows everything, and sometimes it's even true.
Well, as a medical doctor working in the legislature, how are you using your old-fashioned soapbox and all the new technology to talk to the people you represent?
It's fascinating because what we do with the state legislature is we have ideas that we call bills, and we put them out there. For instance, the let prisoners go at age 65 if they've served half of their time, don't have a violation that involved violence or a child, and stipulations, and that way I don't have to pay their Medicare as a state. Let them go if it's an optional thing for the warden to do, as it were, the parole board. And lo and behold, the newspaper picked that up and put a little thing about it in the newspaper, and I thought of all the little ideas that we have. Poof, one of them comes to the surface, and people are starting to read about that on their cell phones and on their computers, and you hear about it. Drug donations. People can't afford drugs.
No,
so how can we make that available to people who didn't use them, couldn't use them, to donate them back, and therefore somebody who couldn't afford it can use a medicine that they weren't able to afford and get it just because the pharmacy is able to give it with the handling fee.
Now, explain that a little further, because I think that resonates with a lot of people, from just keeping drugs from not getting into our drinking water to keeping drugs from being not in the garbage can. But how would you actually manage that?
There are actually 3 pharmacies who have applied to be able to do this, and it started out with donating drugs that were very expensive, like cancer drugs, for instance. And lo and behold, if you start looking at it, why would we not do it? And you read and I read about drugs that used to be $40 that are now 5 times that much. We're looking at drugs that are more than that, and we say, well, then why can't we do that? And so there's now, if it's available to be donated, then with certain criteria, you can donate the medicine, and the pharmacy can be able to use it if it's packaged right, protected, safe, and all of those other parameters. So it's just a good idea, and people like it. and that's because of you can do that on your soapbox. I have a soapbox, so I can do that, and people resonate with them and how they like good ideas.
Senator, thank you. We appreciate
Dana?
you being here. This is Dr. and Senator Joe Hardy. I'm Dana Cowley, and thanks for being with us for Charter Local Edition.